So the next video I'm going to create might show you how to use desmos to look at some of these quadratic functions online. So this is the post that I'm going to make as soon as I'm done making the video with a link to desmos, right, on there. And when you go to desmos, and this should look the same, no matter if you're using a PC or a Mac, doesn't matter. All you gotta do is hit start graphing. And what we want to do is we want to take a look at something like y equals x squared. So on the left-hand side here, we've got our editor, and we're going to just type in y equals x. And then to do squared, we can use the caret, which is right above the number 6, which is take it up. Or you can just hit, see if I can just delete that right there. You can hit this little keyboard down at the bottom, and you'll see that there is a squared button right here. You can hit that as well, right? And I'll leave this up here with my two. And we can take a look at y equals x squared, right? And we can use the plus or minuses in the upper right-hand corner to kind of zoom in or out. I like to kind of try to get it so that every box is worth 1. That way I can kind of see, and I can see when I hover over it, I see a vertex right there at 0, 0. The only thing that I have not found the ability to do in Desmos is look at a table of values like you can see in a graphing calculator, but if you kind of just click on one of the points here, you can move it around and you can kind of move it, and you can see that the point 1, 1 is on the graph, and this is kind of moving and showing only points that are on the graph. And kind of look, it looks like the point 2, 4 is on the graph, and if I see it, I can see that the point 2, 4 is on the graph. So while you can't see a table of values, you can move this around until you find points you're looking for. Like I know the point 3, 9 is on this graph, and you can see the mirror image points on the other side as well. The point, -3, +9 also on the graph. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at maybe another equation. Let's just make one up here. Y equals 2, and then x minus 3 squared plus 1, right? And I can see that, understanding that the value of what the value of a does, the value of a is 2. The value of a tells me that it's bigger than 1, so it's going to be stretched out more vertically. It is a positive number, so it's still going to open up, which you can see the graph right there automatically. You can see the blue graph there opens up. It's got a value of h, which is +3, which means the graph is 3 units to the right and 1 unit up. We can kind of see that there's our vertex there at 3, 1. Again, we can kind of click here and we kind of see, we can see the point where those two graphs intersect. That's not really important for us right now, but it may be important later on in Algebra 2. We can see that right here, the graph, the point 4, 3 is on my graph. And you can kind of estimate, what happens when x equals 5. It looks to me that, when x equals 5, it's up here around 9. And it's correct. The point 5, 9 is on my graph. So again, we can graph, as many as we want here. And we can kind of compare them to the original y equals x squared, the red graph, and see that the blue one is a translation 3 units to the right, 1 unit up. And because the value of a is bigger than 1, it is a little bit skinnier. If we want to go back and change this to a negative and see that, it opens down when the value of a is negative, we can see, there's our x-intercepts right there, and they're not very pretty x-intercepts, but those are the x-intercepts. If we kind of zoom down here a little bit more, we can also kind of see the y-intercept at 0, -17. It's a little bit nicer of a point, but it'd probably be off most graphs that I would give you paper pencil-wise. But, you can see that Desmos is kind of a powerful tool here to be, an internet-based tool that you can quick use to graph things and see what they look like, kind of check your answers to your homework, make sure you're doing things correctly. You will still have to do it paper pencil-wise later on. So, again, hope this helps. Give you another resource that you can use to while we're doing some of these quadratic functions and graphing and the like. All right? Have a good night.